This is stuff you like, and you know we're about to get serious because I'm putting my hair in a bun. You know, as a device to denote seriousness, it probably works better if you don't normally wear your hair in a bun. Regardless, that Moana, it's a bit good, isn't it? And so it's time for a random collection of my thoughts on the subject. I went to see it just after Christmas, making it the fourth and final film I saw in the cinema in 2016. The other three being Ghostbusters, fun, Doctor Strange, trippy, and Rogue One, fan film war movie set in the Star Wars universe. Of the four, Moana definitely had the most emotional punch. I mean, you would expect that because Disney, but wow. But there are so many good things about it that I want to mention. Like, first, it looks amazing. Now, the water is wonderful and the textures are fabulous, but you know what I noticed? Because obviously, the hair, it looks so good. I loved what Pixar did with Merida's hair in Brave, but this is much more naturalistic and it works so well. Man, that Quicksilver engine is amazing. And buns! People putting their hair up when they're about to do important things so it doesn't get in the way. But back on topic, and spoilers incoming, you're welcome. Moana is your standard modern Disney princess fare of girl has responsibility but also wants to be herself. Something something destiny, hijinks ensue. But it has a much more myth-like structure than something like Frozen. It feels more like an oral story than a written one because it divides itself much more neatly into chapters. There are more obvious hook points for a storyteller to remember where they were and get back on track. First we're on the island, and then we leave, and then we have to find Maui, and then we have to find the hook, so we go to the realm of monsters, and then we try to beat the person, and that doesn't work, and then we try again, and then we're good. So that was an interesting difference in feel that I noted from their last big effort. It definitely felt more episodic structurally, but regardless, there was one massive improvement which I noticed from Frozen. Reprises. Look, I am not here for your my Disney movie is better than your Disney movie. I don't care if it's Frozen or Tangled or Lilo and Stitch that makes you cry like a small baby. But Frozen has a major glaring flaw in my opinion. In the second half of the movie, there are hardly any songs at all. Let It Go is this fantastic, amazing song, and then it happens and then we don't get a reprise of it at any of the emotionally significant moments which happen further along in the plot, and I think that was a flaw. For the first time in forever gets a reprise when Anna arrives at Elsa's castle, but the second half of the movie, like I said, But in Moana you have that who am I am Moana, how far I'll go reprise, and it's just In general, the songs and the soundtrack of Moana, fabulous. I mean, I wasn't the hugest fan of Shiny, but I see what they were doing there with their evil David Bowie glitter crab. And you know, I think it worked. And absolutely no romance at all. I mean, not like in Brave, where no romance is part of the plot, but just there isn't any romance. There's a 1,000-year-old demigod and a teenage girl and they're doing hero stuff and it's great. Speaking of our 1,000-year-old demigod, I really liked him and his tattoos, which danced. Also, great hair. Dwayne Johnson, fantastic choice for the voice acting. And actually, I can't think of anyone whose voice acting made me go, no, you're not quite right. But everyone was really good. And my favourite thing in a plot, compassion and understanding about who you are inside saves the day and turns a sad lava monster back into the jolly green giant goddess, island, lady, person. Hooray for that, says I, and also hooray for Granny, our designated dead person for the movie. But she does in fact get to come back as a manta ray and a force ghost, so swings and roundabouts. I mean, it's a Disney movie, and so we're always going to have those tropes which I mentioned earlier, like I Want More, and Destiny, a couple of designated dead people, musical numbers, but you know, I like those things when they're done well, and they were, and so everything was lovely. And I keep bursting into song at odd moments, so that's a pretty good sign too. The only major thing I felt didn't work quite so well was having the ocean on side. I mean, I get that the ocean chooses Moana and yada yada, but when all of the terrifying power of the ocean is on your side, the stakes don't feel quite as stakey. Especially when what you're fighting against is a lava monster who demonstrably cannot go in the water. With no specific limitations on the power of the ocean, the danger doesn't feel that dangerous, and you're left asking questions like, why didn't the ocean just sink the boats of coconut people? But like I said, I loved it a lot, and I will definitely be getting the DVD. and possibly doing a proper review of it at some point in the future. In the meantime, patrons can go to patreon.com/JillBearup and find out what episodes are coming up in the next couple of months, and everyone else can... Well, if you become a patron, you can find that out, but otherwise you can follow me on Twitter and listen to me ranting about, I don't know, C.S. Lewis, Susan Pevensey, hair, Disney, anything that comes to mind, really. Regardless, though, I will see you all next time for whatever episode is next on the list. Look, I wrote it down so I wouldn't have to remember it. See you then. Okay, we're not being serious and epic anymore. I can take my hair down.